So welcome back to the Creativity Series and to day 4 of part 2. Now, over the last 3 days, we've been building up this visualization. And we're nearing the point now where the exercise is fundamentally kind of complete. And over the next couple of days, really, it's all about sort of settling in to that new rhythm and the new type of exercise. It always takes a few days to settle into that. So it's about just developing this very steady rhythm now. Now, as I mentioned at the end of yesterday, the really important thing and the theme I'd like you to focus on today is to bring a natural sense of curiosity. It's a bit like that idea of beginner's mind that I was talking about a little while back in terms of the motivation. It's very easy just to turn up at the meditation each day and just to not really pay attention to the moment. Instead, just to bring some previous ideas that we might have thought about yesterday, earlier, the day before, whatever it might be. So today, it's an effortless quality that's required, but just bringing about that very gentle focus, which allows you to be aware and yet curious of how it feels in the moment. So just take a minute or so now just to get comfortable, to set up that nice soft gaze with the eyes, and to take a few deep breaths, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, remembering to do it loudly enough so that if somebody was sat next to you, they'd be able to hear you breathing, just for these first few breaths. And with the next out breath, gently closing the eyes as you become more aware of the other physical senses and more aware of your surroundings. Just take a minute or so now just to check in with those other physical senses. And just bringing the attention back to the body now. As you start to become more aware of how the body's feeling today, in this moment. Whether there's a sense of resistance or acceptance towards that feeling. And then starting off at the top of the head, just gently scanning down through the body in the usual way. Starting to notice any mood, particularly strong emotion that might be around at the moment. Always useful to see that clearly before you begin the meditation. Pausing to remind yourself why you're actually doing what you're doing, what it is you're looking to learn or understand or develop through the meditation. Or maybe it's to let go of something, whatever it is, being clear in how the exercise benefits both you and others. And lastly, just reminding yourself that the curiosity that's required is an effortless focus, very gentle, very soft. That there's a process which takes place naturally. And with that in mind, just starting to become aware of the breath, that rising and falling sensation, and just settling the mind on that rhythm. Just noticing how each breath is different from the last. So continuing to be aware of the breath. It's there in the background as you just begin now to shift your attention down towards the ankles, the feet. Noticing how in this moment it feels in that space. Remember, always bringing that quality of sunlight to that area, warmth, brightness, clarity, and always imagining an area about the size of a football, and just working through for asking yourself each of those questions. Heaviness, lightness, restlessness, stillness. Spaciousness, restriction. And just moving that focus up now to the area, the lower abdomen, the navel. Again, imagining that area in the middle of the body. And in that space, heaviness or lightness. Stillness or restlessness. Spaciousness or restriction. And up again. It's time to the area of the diaphragm, the solar plexus. Imagining that area in the middle of the body. You just hold that image very lightly in the mind and notice whether there's a feeling, heaviness or lightness, stillness or restlessness, spaciousness or restriction. Up to the area of the chest, the upper back, working through those same questions. Up towards the area of the throat and the neck. Again, not rushing, not hurrying, just taking a moment just to pause, get a sense of how it feels in that area. Then moving up to the area of the brow, the forehead. Not bringing with you the feelings of yesterday or earlier. Instead, noticing how it feels in this moment. And the area above the head now. Again, there's no need to try too hard, even though the areas outside of the body. There's just a sense that you get when you focus on that area of whether there's a feeling of heaviness or lightness, of stillness, of restlessness. And of spaciousness or restriction. And then, just as though we're playing the scales, we're going to move back down through each of those points. As you move back down through, remembering that that area is very much 3D. It's down through the middle of the body, taking in both the front, the back, and the sides of the body. So moving down from above the head, level with the forehead, the throat, the chest, solar plexus, navel, ankles, back up to the navel, solar plexus, chest, throat, brow, and above the head. Just one more time, down through the brow, the throat, the chest, solar plexus, navel, ankles. And without needing to name each one now, just consciously moving your attention up through each of those places, up through the body, and then scanning back down through them as you move your attention back down through the body. So just gently scanning now, taking just a second or so for each scan as you flow up through the body and then back down through the body. Just continue in that way now, just for the next 30 seconds or so. Of course, as you're scanning in this way, if you do find the mind wanders off, no problem. As soon as you realize it's wandered in that moment, of course, you're back in the present moment. And all you need to do is just gently bring the attention back and continue with that scanning, flowing sensation. But as you scan up through the body for the next time, when you get to that point just above the head, just allowing the mind to be completely free. No effort required, just letting it do whatever it wants to do. And now bringing the attention back to the body, back to the weight of the body, the physical contact between the body and the chair or the floor, the sounds, those both far away and those very close now, as you become more aware of the environment around you, perhaps any smells, any tastes. And in your own time, you can just gently open the eyes. Notice how you're sat, whether it's comfortable, whether you need to alter your posture in any way. Notice how you feel both in body and in mind. And just be clear about the importance of carrying that awareness, that clarity with you throughout the day today, so that you do allow this steady stream of creativity to flow. But for now, you can sit back in the chair, take a moment just to appreciate having taken a little bit of time out of your day. And I think that idea of allowing creativity to flow is an interesting idea to take into the day today. It's so easy to think that during the day you have to somehow tap in to creativity, that you have to somehow try and bring about a creative state of mind. But the truth is that flow of creativity is always there. It's just if we're very busy in the mind, very caught up with things, if we're swept away by overwhelming emotions, then we're simply unable to be conscious of that creative, spontaneous flow. So, whenever possible, just taking a moment to pause, to be mindful, to be aware, to be present, and perhaps to remind yourself of that feeling, the very end of the meditation where you just allow your mind to be completely free, and notice the quality of creativity and spontaneity that comes in to the mind at that point.